Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have an invisible magnet for money while others struggle just to keep their heads above water? It is a question that haunted me for years until I discovered the truth. I am not talking about having a high-limit credit card or the latest smartphone in your pocket. I am talking about something so small and so seemingly ordinary that if I showed it to you right now, you might actually laugh. But here is the reality. While you might be laughing, those who carry this object are often earning more in a single month than most hardworking people see in a year. This is not a lucky break or a coincidence. It is the result of a very specific, very ancient practice that I am going to share with you today. I am going to tell you exactly what this object is, why it holds such incredible power, and how you can begin using it to change your own life starting tonight. My name is Rabbi Naomi. For nearly 4 decades, I have dedicated my life to studying the deep wisdom found in the Talmud, the Kabbalah, and the hidden wealth traditions that Jewish families have protected for over 3,000 years. This is my heritage. My family has been part of the rabbinical tradition for 6 generations. My grandfather was a rabbi, and his father was a rabbi before him. The knowledge I am sharing with you today was never intended for the general public. It was something whispered in closed circles and shared within families, where wealth was viewed as something to be spiritually attracted and then fiercely protected. If you watch this until the end, you will understand why certain families seem to dominate the world of finance and why they are able to bounce back from economic crashes faster than anyone else. The key is what they carry in their pockets. Before we go any further, I want to see if you are truly open to this. Go ahead and type "I am ready to receive" in the comments right now. Doing this isn't just for the algorithm, it is a spiritual act. In our tradition, we believe that words have the power to create reality. By typing those words, you are telling the universe that you are no longer closing yourself off from the abundance that is meant for you. I'll wait a moment while you do that. It is important to make that mental shift before I reveal the secret that changed my life when I was just 19 years old. I remember that night vividly. It was just after Yom Kippur, which is the holiest day on our calendar. The synagogue was finally empty and silent, but my grandfather asked me to stay behind. He took me into his private study, a tiny room that smelled of cedar wood and very old leather books. He looked at me with a seriousness I had never seen before and pulled a small folded piece of parchment from his coat pocket. It was no bigger than a matchbox. He told me that every successful man he had ever known carried one of these. He told me his own father carried one during the Great Depression. While every family around them was losing their homes and their savings, our family didn't just survive. We actually grew wealthier. He told me it wasn't magic, but alignment. He said that wealth follows spiritual laws that are much older than any bank or stock market. At 19, I was skeptical. I thought money came from grinding, working long hours, and maybe a bit of good luck. But he made me promise to carry this object for 90 days just to see what happened. I agreed, mostly out of respect for him. Within the first 2 weeks, I received an unexpected scholarship that paid for my entire education. By the end of the month, a man I had never met approached me with a business opportunity that eventually led to my first real mentor in the world of commerce. My life shifted in ways that logic simply couldn't explain. I realized then that this wasn't just some old philosophy. It was an ancient technology for the soul. The reason most people never find financial peace is that they are too busy chasing the latest trends or listening to modern gurus who don't understand the roots of prosperity. I've spent my life turning these ancient principles into a system anyone can follow. I actually wrote a book about this called The Ancient Wealth Code. It covers the 10 core principles that have allowed Jewish families to build and protect wealth for thousands of years. It isn't just theory, it is a playbook for your life. If you want to go deeper than this video allows, you can find it in the description below. But for now, I want you to focus on the concept of the unseen realm. The Talmud teaches us that a blessing only rests upon things that are hidden from the eye. Think about that for a second. The most powerful forces in our world are invisible. You can't see gravity, but it holds you to the earth. You can't see the air, but it keeps you alive. Wealth operates on that same frequency. It starts in a place you cannot see before it ever shows up in your bank account. The object I am going to teach you to make is designed to work in that invisible space. It acts like an antenna, pulling the energy of abundance directly towards you. Most people work themselves to the bone, waking up early and staying up late, sacrificing their health and their time with family just to stay afloat. And yet, at the end of the month, the money is gone. It feels like running on a treadmill that never stops. I have sat with doctors, engineers, and business owners who do everything right by society's standards and still feel like they are drowning. The reason they struggle is that they are only focusing on the physical side of money. They try to work more hours or find better investments, but if their spiritual channel is blocked by fear or scarcity, no amount of hard work will fix it. Working without spiritual alignment is like trying to row a boat that has no rudder. You will exhaust yourself just going in circles. I want you to understand that you are not destined to struggle. There is a teaching that an angel determines before you are born whether you will be wise or foolish, but whether you will be rich or poor is left to your own actions. In the original language, that word actions doesn't mean physical labor. It means spiritual rituals and the way you align your energy. You have the power to change your financial destiny by changing the way you interact with the unseen world. The parchment packet I am going to show you how to prepare is one of the most effective ways to start that process. It is a physical anchor for a spiritual truth, and once you start carrying it, you will begin to see opportunities where you once saw only walls. Stay with me because we are about to begin the preparation. Now that you understand why most traditional ways of making money fail to reach the spiritual root, I want to show you exactly how to build your own vessel for abundance. This isn't a task you should rush through while you're distracted or stressed. To do this correctly, you must be in the right frame of mind. The ancient teachings suggest that the best time to prepare this object is in the quiet, early hours of the morning, ideally before the sun has even come up. There is a reason for this. In the Talmud, we learn that the final third of the night is when the spiritual and physical worlds are at their closest, making it the perfect time for your intentions to take root. Before we dive into the specific items you need, I want you to take a second and think about what you really want to achieve. Not just more money, but what that money represents for you. Security, freedom, or the ability to help others. Write down one specific financial goal in the comments right now. Putting it into words helps focus your energy, and as we discussed, words create reality. The first element you need is a small piece of natural parchment. This is very important. You cannot just use a piece of notebook paper or a sticky note. In our mystical traditions, natural parchment, which is made from animal skin, is considered a living material. Because it once held life, it carries a unique spiritual frequency that acts as a bridge between our world and the unseen realm. It is a vessel that can hold and preserve your spiritual intention for a very long time, much longer than anything synthetic or processed. You only need a small square, about 3 inches by 3 inches. You can find this easily online or at a local craft store. Next, you will need pure sea salt. It has to be salt from the ocean, not the processed table salt you find in a shaker. Salt has been central to Jewish tradition for thousands of years because it serves 2 main purposes. It purifies and it preserves. In the ancient temple in Jerusalem, every single offering brought before the Creator had to be accompanied by salt. It represents a lasting covenant. When you place a pinch of sea salt in your packet, it works to scrub away the negative energy or spiritual blockages that might be keeping abundance away from you. It creates a protective barrier, ensuring that only positive, blessed energy can enter your financial life. The third item is a single whole bay leaf. Many people are surprised by this, but the bay leaf has a long history in Jewish mystical practices. It is the symbol of victory and endurance. In the world of Kabbalah, the properties of the bay leaf are linked to a specific energy called Netzach, which represents the power to overcome obstacles and achieve lasting success. It acts like a spiritual magnet, drawing opportunities toward you that you might have otherwise missed. It is crucial that the leaf is unbroken. A broken leaf represents a blessing that has been interrupted or cut short, so make sure you choose a perfect one for your packet. The fourth element is a small piece of a cinnamon stick, about 1 inch long. Cinnamon is mentioned in the Torah as a key ingredient in the sacred anointing oil used by our ancestors. In ancient times, it was so rare and powerful that it was often worth more than gold. From a spiritual perspective, cinnamon is used to accelerate things. While the salt cleanses and the bay leaf attracts, the cinnamon provides the speed. It acts as a catalyst to ensure that the manifestations of your hard work and spiritual alignment don't take years to arrive, but begin to flow into your life with a sense of urgency. Finally, you need a single coin of the smallest denomination in your currency, like a penny if you are in the United States. This coin is the seed of your wealth. There is a famous teaching in the Talmud that a single coin in a jar makes the most noise. This means that the first small step, the first seed you plant, creates the most significant ripple in the spiritual world. This coin serves as the physical anchor. It grounds all the spiritual energy of the other elements into the physical world where you can actually spend it and use it. I want to remind you that while these 5 elements are incredibly powerful, they are part of a much larger system of wisdom. If you're starting to see how these pieces fit together, you'll realize why I spent years putting all 10 of these ancient principles into my book, The Ancient Wealth Code. We are covering 2 of those pillars here today, but the full system is what creates true multi-generational prosperity. You can find that guide in the first comment if you want the complete roadmap. Now, before we move to the actual assembly, take a deep breath. You are gathering the tools to change your life's trajectory. These aren't just random items from a pantry. They are a formula for alignment that has worked for thousands of years. If you have all your materials ready, or if you're planning to get them today, let me know in the comments by typing, "I have the tools." This keeps you accountable to yourself and to the process. Once you have these 5 things, the parchment, the sea salt, the bay leaf, the cinnamon, and the coin, you are ready to step into the actual ritual of preparation. This is where the real transformation begins. Once you have gathered these 5 physical elements, you are ready to move from preparation to activation. This is the moment where you stop being a passive observer and start becoming the architect of your own financial reality. I want you to find a quiet space where you won't be interrupted for at least 15 minutes. Ideally, as I mentioned, this should be done in the stillness of the early morning when the world's noise hasn't yet drowned out the spiritual frequencies. Your mental state is the most important ingredient here. If you are feeling rushed, angry, or anxious, please wait until you are centered. The energy you bring into this ritual is the energy that will be amplified. Before we begin the assembly, let's do something to lock in our collective focus. Drop a comment below saying, "I am aligned," because that is exactly what we are about to achieve. This simple declaration helps harmonize your intent with the actions you are about to take. To start, lay your piece of natural parchment flat on a clean surface in front of you. Before you even touch the elements, I want you to close your eyes and take 7 deep, slow breaths. In Jewish mysticism, the number 7 represents completion and the natural order of the world. With each breath, visualize a warm, golden light filling your chest and expanding outward. This is what we call the Or Ein Sof, the infinite light of the Creator that is the source of all abundance. Feel this light connecting you to the source before you proceed. Now take your coin and place it directly in the center of the parchment. As you set it down, say these words with total conviction. "Blessed is the source of all abundance. I open myself to receive the blessings that are already destined for me." This coin is the seed, and from this seed a forest of prosperity shall grow. Notice the physical weight of that coin against your fingertips. That sensation is vital because it grounds your spiritual intention into the solid, physical world. Next, take a pinch of your sea salt. Sprinkle it over the coin in a clockwise circle. In the Kabbalistic tradition, moving clockwise represents the flow of positive, building energy. As the salt falls, recite, "I purify this vessel of all negativity, all blockage, and all spiritual contamination. Only abundance and blessing may enter here." You might feel a subtle shift in the room, perhaps a slight warmth or a tingling in your hands. That is a sign that the energy is beginning to move. Now place your unbroken bay leaf directly on top of the salt and the coin. As you do this, state clearly, "Victory is mine. Opportunity flows to me. Doors that were closed are now open." Take a moment to actually see those doors in your mind. Don't just think about them. Visualize yourself walking through them with your head held high. You are claiming the success that has already been prepared for you. Take your cinnamon stick and lay it alongside the bay leaf. Say these words, "Speed and urgency attend my blessings. What is meant for me comes to me swiftly and without delay." Many people report that the scent of the cinnamon suddenly becomes much stronger at this stage, even without breaking it. If you smell it, acknowledge it as a sign that the activation is working. The next step is one of the most critical parts of the process, the folding. You must fold the parchment toward you, never away from you. Folding toward yourself draws energy in your direction, while folding away pushes it out. Fold it once toward you, turn the parchment 90 degrees clockwise, and fold it toward you again. You should now have a small, secure packet that holds all the elements together. Pick up the packet and hold it with both hands, pressing it against your heart. For the next 60 seconds, I want you to sit in total silence. During this minute, do not ask for anything. Instead, feel intense gratitude for what you already have. Gratitude is the frequency that unlocks the gates of heaven. In the Talmud, we are taught that someone who offers 100 blessings a day is constantly protected and sustained. This gratitude is your foundation. Finally, place the packet in your pocket. Use the pocket you reach into most frequently. If you are right-handed, put it in your left pocket. If you are left-handed, put it in your right. In our tradition, the non-dominant side is the side of receiving, the side of chesed, or divine generosity. This packet should stay near you at all times. When you sleep, keep it under your pillow or on your nightstand. It should rarely be more than a few feet from your body. What I have shared with you here is a very powerful practice, but remember that it is only a small piece of a much larger blueprint. In my book, The Ancient Wealth Code, I explain the other 8 principles that complete this system. If this ritual has already opened your eyes, the full 10-step playbook will fundamentally change your life. You can find the link to get your copy in the description below. Now stay with me because I need to tell you what happens next and the one thing you must never do once you start carrying this object. Once you have placed that packet in your pocket, you have initiated a powerful spiritual sequence that will begin to ripple through your life almost immediately. Within the first 24 hours, the shifts are often subtle. You might feel an unusual sense of calm regarding your finances, or perhaps a sudden lightness in your chest where there used to be a heavy knot of worry. Keep your eyes open for small confirmations, a coin found in an unexpected place, a sudden compliment, or even seeing repeated number patterns like 8s or 1s. These aren't just coincidences. They are the universe's way of nodding to you, confirming that your new alignment is taking hold. I'm curious to see how quickly this starts for you, so when you notice that first little wink from the universe, come back to this video and share it in the comments. Your stories inspire others to keep their faith. As you move into the 3 to 7 day mark, the results usually become much more tangible. This is when the coincidences get bigger. You might receive a call about a debt that has been suddenly forgiven, an unexpected check might arrive in the mail, or a business opportunity could drop into your lap from someone you haven't spoken to in years. By the time you reach 30 days of carrying this vessel with pure intention, your financial reality should feel fundamentally different. You will find yourself living in the flow of prosperity rather than constantly exhausting yourself by swimming against the current. However, there is a very strict rule you must follow to keep this energy pure. You must never show this packet to anyone else or open it once it is sealed. The Talmud teaches that a blessing only rests upon that which is hidden from the eye. The moment you expose it to the curiosity, skepticism, or negative energy of others, you weaken the field of protection you've built. Trust the process and let it work in the silence. I also have to give you a few serious warnings because we are dealing with real spiritual forces, not a game. First, never prepare this packet with the intent to take from someone else or to act dishonestly. In our tradition, we call the law of measure for measure, mida keneged mida. It means that whatever energy you put out into the world returns to you multiplied. If you use these sacred tools out of greed or to harm others, that same destructive energy will eventually find its way back to your own doorstep. I have seen people lose everything because they tried to manipulate these laws for selfish ends. Let's make a pact of integrity right now. Type "I choose abundance for all" in the comments if you agree to use this wisdom for good. Second, do not be tempted to make multiple packets thinking it will speed things up. Greed actually fragments your energy and dilutes the power of the practice. One packet, one heart, one clear channel is all you need. And finally, if your packet ever gets wet, torn, or damaged, do not try to fix it. A broken vessel cannot hold a blessing. If this happens, you must start fresh and prepare a new one. Take the old materials and return them to the earth by burying them respectfully, as we do with all sacred objects. The Zohar, the foundational text of our mysticism, explains that every physical thing in our world has a spiritual root in the upper worlds. By combining these specific physical elements with your focused intention, you are building a bridge for divine energy, what we call Shefa, or the flow of abundance, to descend into your daily life. This is the operating system of reality. I learned this lesson the hard way in my 40s. I had become quite successful, and honestly, I got a bit arrogant. I stopped my daily practices and stopped carrying my packet, thinking I no longer needed rituals. Within 6 months, my world began to unravel. Investments failed, partners walked away, and my health took a hit. It was only when I humbled myself and returned to these ancient disciplines that the flow returned. Consistency is the only price of lasting abundance. Looking at the world today in 2026, things feel more chaotic than ever. Markets are volatile. Technology is changing the job landscape overnight, and inflation is a constant shadow. But these principles do not care about who is in office or what the interest rates are. They are an anchor that has held steady for 3,000 years. You are not gullible for seeking this out. You are discerning. You recognize that there is more to this world than what meets the eye.